Guys, this is Charles Randall here. Today I'm going to be looking at an article I wrote in 2016 called Breakpoint on a Budget. So the purpose of Breakpoint on a Budget was kind of to preview the new set X and Y Breakpoint that was going to be released. The goal of the article that I wrote was to highlight which of the cards were going to be playable from the new set, and the idea was kind of to buy cards that might be undervalued before they go up in price. So the first card that I looked at was Slowking. So Slowking from Breakpoint had an ability that basically on a coin flip you could move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. I saw this as sort of infinite energy denial. So I thought this was really, really, really good. I'd been messing around with expanded decks with Crawdon's Unruly Claw and De-Evolution Spray, so I thought that the ability to deny energy every turn was really powerful. I kind of talked about playing it with Bridget to get out the Slowpokes easily. In retrospect, I was wrong about Slowking really being viable. So I saw it as being really good in some sort of disruption deck, and it did see like some mild play along with Seismitoad EX, which had the ability to item lock, but really the card did not see a lot of competitive play. Was really easy to play around because your opponent could not bench things that were vulnerable to Slowking. So in the end, this ended up not being a very good card, although I certainly was trying to play it for a few weeks after the set released. Next up was Manifex EX. So Manifex EX was kind of a form of Darkrai EX, except for water energy instead of dark energy. So I highlighted it as being a card that would be included in Fairy Box. But I did point out that Darkrai EX was a much more powerful and versatile card because it could attack than Manifex EX. So I said, I think that Manaphy will see fringe play in water decks and that it's worth picking up now, but I don't think it deserves a spot in Blastoise or any other current archetype. So I think I kind of stand by this sentiment. I was correct that it did not belong in Blastoise, although that was not super relevant for super long. But Manaphy did end up seeing a lot of play in Water Box, and after the printing of Max Elixir, this I think Max Elixir might have been in the same set. People ended up figuring out the Manaphy was really good in a water box based deck. Next up is Frogadier. So I said that Greninja got better with Frogadier because before the Greninja deck used rare candies, and I kind of talked about it as being Miltank Greninja. But one thing that I didn't kind of think about is I didn't think that the Greninja from the set was playable. I didn't look at it and realize that. So I talk about will the deck run Greninja Break? I said my answer to that is no, because Greninja Break has to be active for its ability to activate. So I was definitely wrong about this. Frogadier is what makes Greninja a viable deck, and Greninja was viable for a good chunk of time, and it was still viable for expanded for a while. So I totally missed the mark on Frogadier, and I totally missed the mark on Greninja and Greninja Break. I did know Frogadier, but obviously I missed the significance of it. Hypno. So I kind of compared it to Muna from Boundaries Crossed. And I don't know why I formatted this paragraph in black this way. But Hypno really never saw any play. Espeon Ex. I said Espeon Ex will take up one slot in spread decks. I feel very good about this analysis. That's exactly what it did. It took a spot in spread decks. It was a good card. At one point it was expensive. I feel good about my prediction with Espeon Ex. Next up, Garbador. I said it's worth having a 2-2 line. Garbador ended up being really significant and format defining. So I may have missed the mark on this one as well. But I definitely didn't exclude it. So props to me. Phantom. So I said Trevenant XY just got more powerful with Phantom. Trevenant Break gives it a supplementary attack and a decent chunk of HP. So I said I would also stock up on Trevenant XY at this point as well before their prices skyrocket. So I was totally right on Phantom, giving new significance to Trevenant along with Trevenant Break, which I include here. Darker EX, I said, was a card that will warrant one spot in expanded Evil-Tall decks. This was totally wrong. I was wrong. Darkrai ended up being its own deck, both in standard and expanded, where this Darkrai was the main attacker, and I was focusing on it, using it as a one-slot deck because of Dark Head, and that was totally off. Dark Head was not hardly ever relevant. Puzzle of Time, I said. I think that Puzzle of Time is one of the most influential cards in the set. I was totally right about Puzzle of Time. Puzzle of Time was so good that it was banned in Expanded later on. I said Puzzle of Time is going to change the format, pick up a playset of these. It might have been a little premature on my part because it didn't immediately change the format, but Puzzle was really great. I remember being obsessed with this. I owned like 12. I was really, really a big fan of Puzzle of Time. I said Max Elixir is Ether on steroids. In a deck that plays at least 10 energy, there's a good chance you can hit the energy. Definitely grab some of these. Yeah, Max Elixir ended up being a really, really good card and ended up being like over $5 at some point. Really good. Bursting Balloon. I said that it was like Rock Guard, last one turn, that you could attach to a Robo-Sub. That's a little silly. I couldn't really imagine how it would fit into decks, but it ended up fitting into, I think, Trevenant? Maybe, I think that's, and with it later, and with decks like Garbador, but I guess that was kind of neat. I don't think it was like amazing, but it was definitely playable. Fighting Fury Belt. I said it was going to change the game like Muscle Band did. That was correct. It definitely did. It was a staple in a lot of basic decks. It was a staple with Seismitoad EX. It was really, really good. Delinquent. So I said it's powerful but balanced. And Delinquent ended up being banned, right? So I think that was a good add on my part to the list. So final shopping list. I had a bunch of cards. I had my ideal shopping list, my actual shopping list, because I quote unquote am not made of money. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this preview. So I think I missed the mark on Slowking. So I'm going to just go a bit in summary. Wrong on Slowking, right on Manaphy, wrong on Frogadier, wrong on Hypno, right on Espeon, right on Garbador, right on Phantom, and Trevenant Break. Very off on Darkrai EX, right on Puzzle, right on Max Elixir, May on Bursting Balloon, right on Fighting Fury Belt, and I'm not sure if I really made a statement about Delinquent, but this is a cool little insight. Now with hindsight, we can see how good or bad my predictions were. I think that they were pretty neat. So thanks for going through this with me, and I'll talk to you in the next one.